As I was working the cat for the second time, I decided I really didn't like having to tie a knot at the end of the tail to hide these threads. So instead, after I did the sewing into this pinhole, I would normally have placed this aside. This time, we're going to use them. So I'm now on the outside edge, and I'm ready to go back into the middle. I've sewn this, and I would normally be headed back in to the middle of the cat. So instead, I'm going to actually use that pair and do my cloth stitch through the cat. Cross twist, all the way through the cat. And each time I come to the gentle curve, of course, I have a twist on that thread. There's a twist on this thread, I go through it. I put a twist on this thread and set it aside. The real important part about this cat is the tensioning. And as I tension, I want to stay on top of the little black line. So this is set aside. I take the next pair, the inside pair, and cloth stitch back through the trail. Now yes, the trail will have one extra pair in it at this time. I tension it. This pair, as you can see, would normally go over here, but there's something around it. I had an extra thread. It's really important to check for those things, that you don't have threads where they don't belong, and fix them as soon as you can. So I'm now headed to this pin so that I can sew into that pin. I need 2 twists on the thread and sew into it. I completed the sewing, and now I need to put 2 twists on the worker and go back through the trail with, of course, a cross twist. The most important part of this cat is the tensioning. And if you don't tension it so that it stays on top of the black line, it won't look nice. It's important to turn it the correct direction, because otherwise it doesn't really tension properly. Looking back, I'm now at the inside edge. I do a cloth stitch through the inside edge, put an extra twist on the pair I'm going to drop, and put it up out of the way. If my tensioning is appropriate, I can now take this pair, which is now the worker, and go back through the trail again. So that means that end that I want to hide, I've now taken it across 1 time, and now back across, that's 2 times. I would be inclined to take it another time. I have another sewing around the pin. There are 4 twists, 1, 2, 3, 4. I raise the pin up so I can go around it, go around the pin, tighten up my threads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go back through. Now going back through, that's the 3rd time I've gone across those ends. I tension it. So that it's right on the line where I need it to be. This, of course, is another inside curve, so I'm going to be picking up the next pair, the pair I left behind, cross, twist, cross, set aside the worker with 1 twist, and continue tensioning. I continue to tension throughout several times before I figure it's okay, that I can now go back. Now, if you look at the way this looks, you can see I have 8 twists, but see here how it's open? If I sew into it, it will stay that way. So I'm going to take out the pin and massage it a little bit so that the twists go on both sections. Once the twists have moved down, I will repin it and continue to work. I would like to go back across one more time in order to make sure that the ends are well hidden. I'm ready to return, going back across again with the cloth stitch, which now is number 5, I think, that we've gone across, which is probably plenty. If that's the case, that means we need to take out a pair. This particular pair is going to go right here in the edge. It needs 2 twists and a pin on the very short line. So get it nicely tensioned and decide I need to throw out. The 2 that we brought with us are these 2 here on the outside, or at least an outside pair. You never drop an outside pair because then it'll show and it'll flip out and it won't look good. So I want to take out 2 on the inside. So take out any 2 on the inside that are not next to each other. As I said, I usually take out one that is underneath the thread, so it's a bottom thread. This one, as you can see, is a top thread. I would probably take out this one and maybe this one, but 2 that are not next to each other and they're bottom threads, and put them out of the way, and then continue back. And when I've done that, I will eventually be able to cut those off. The ends will be hidden, and I don't have to have any type of knot in here. Just like these that I dropped, I will eventually cut off, and they will just not show because they've been woven in among the threads and they are secure. So it's a way to have a cleaner looking cat. So I would suggest that that's what you do. Of course, you're just going to continue back again. You should only have 4 pairs now. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the trail from now on. That's just an alternate way to finish the end of the bottom of the cat.